Hey fam, I want you to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Roland S. Martin. And don't forget to turn on your notifications. Democrats finally approved this resolution in the United States House dealing with the issue of condemning anti-Semitism. It's been drama all week because there's a lot of pushback among African Americans and the folks in the CBC, House freshmen as well, because they want to initially target Congresswoman Ilhan Omar because of her criticism of Israel. Well, then Democrats said, no, y'all better go ahead and expand that sucker. And so let me read for you the resolution. The resolution says, condemning anti-Semitism as hateful expressions of intolerance that are contradictory to the values and aspirations that define the people of the United States, and condemning anti-Muslim discrimination and bigotry against minorities as hateful expressions of intolerance that are contrary to the values and aspirations of the United States. That's one long-ass sentence. Congressman Cedric Richmond, he spoke in favor of this resolution. Okay. All right, folks. Now, the resolution did not name Ilhan Omar, but it did cite the dual loyalty anti-Semitic trope, now which condemns all forms of bigotry. Now, again, it passed the House today. All Dems voted for it. 26 Republicans voted against. And, of course, Steve King, the white supremacist, who is still in the House, he voted present. Janice, this thing was drama here because you had Democrats who are Jewish who said it needed to be passed. You had some Democrats who are also Jewish who were saying, I didn't see what she said as being anti-Semitic. We discussed this in depth a couple of days ago, that really what we're dealing with here is that any time there's any criticism of Israel, somebody is slapped down as saying, you're being anti-Semitic, when her point really was, I have to have loyalty to this country and not a foreign country. What do you make of the drama here with Democrats and what they had to deal with to actually get this passed?
I think it's time to coin a new phrase. Not anti-Semitic, but anti-Palestinian.
Right.
All of this drama about anti-Semitism, and I'm not saying that anti-Semitism is not real.
And it is real.
It should not be condemned. But I'm saying the real issue is, when are the Palestinians going to get a homeland? When are we going to stop arming Israel to suppress people who look, frankly, like we do? That has been an abiding. Now we have an embassy in Jerusalem, sponsored by, I was on the Hill the day Netanyahu came to gloat over Barack Obama. We are wrong on the Palestinian question. There is no equity, no justice. You think there's no justice in Alabama? You try justice in Palestine. People are cordoned off, can't get to work, have to have passes in order to move from one place to another. Simple apartheid. And yet, we want to get caught up in debates about who's an anti-Semite. There are many Jewish people who think that our policy on Palestine is wrong.
Yes.
This is not a Jewish, anti-Jewish issue.
No.
This is an issue about simple justice.
Robert?
Well, Janice has been waiting on me to criticize the Democratic Party all day. This is that moment. Because I think we all get sick and tired of the weakness of the Democratic Party. We get sick and tired of... This is an occasion. This is one of those occasions where you have a situation where Ms. Omar, all she said was, AIPAC, the American Israeli Political Action Committee, has too much power over American politics. When Barack Obama leaves office, he sends money to Israel. When Donald Trump gets in office, he sends money to Israel. We have politicians who have more of an allegiance and pledge more to AIPAC, not to Israel, not to the Jewish community, to AIPAC than any other group in America. And we have to at least speak on that, monitor that, and determine why we're sending billions of dollars to Israel every year when they were just charged by the United Nations for committing war crimes for targeting and sniping children at the wall. We have to talk about the fact we're sending Israel billions of dollars while Netanyahu is currently under indictment for bribery and corruption. We have to talk about the tens of billions of dollars we send Israel while they are deporting African Jews from Israel right now, while they have forced sterilization programs against Africans in Israel right now. And the fact you can't talk about that without being labeled an anti-Semite is the reason I think this this resolution is weak. When they say this is contrary to American values, this is exactly American values. This is what America was built on, this idea of having apartheid in a nation by treating people differently based on the color of their skin, particularly African people. And that's what Israel is doing right now, being subsidized by American taxpayers. And until we can have an honest conversation about that, that policy is not going to change.
That's right. And
Conservatives are not going to bite you to nothing now.
Right.
Go ahead.
No. And Jazz is not wrong with this when you talk about, what this is and isn't about. Certainly not about anti-Semitism in many ways, because the evangelical Christian right that supports Donald Trump, who has said some of the most virulent, quote-unquote, anti-Jewish, anti-Semitic things, has no problem with funding Israel because it fits their maniacal notion of whatever the second coming is going to be and the rapture.
Funding Israel. If they're our bulwark against whatever we're scared of in the Middle East, fund them. But make them sit down and come to the table.
Sure.
Since we have power over them,
we
expect the Chinese to have power over them.
I agree.
We ought to bring them to the table and make them sit down and come up with a plan.
Well, and let's just be honest. Your point
at least get our money's worth.
Your point about the Palestinians, the problem is, if I go into a negotiation, so if I went to a negotiation and if I'm negotiating with the three of y'all and I know that two of you are already aligned, that ain't a fair negotiation. Because I'm sitting here going, well, if it's going to take 2 out of the 3 votes and 2 already aligned, hell, I'm going to have a tough time trying to win that vote.
That's right.
It's hard for us to actually broker peace in the Middle East when people who support Palestinians believe going in, the deck has already been set. It is against them. And that's part of the deal here.
That's right.
The reason you had Netanyahu, let's put it on the line. I believe Netanyahu did not like Obama because Netanyahu in his mind was saying he Muslim.
Oh, no, he's a racist.
That's what he was thinking.
Of course.
And so all this deal, chilly relationship between Israel and Obama, no. Israelis had no issue with Obama. Yeah. You look at the polls, they had no issue. But it was, how dare you even give them any consideration or level of humanity?
Right. Well, to Robert's point, though, he's also a racist. The treatment of the black Jews, the Ethiopian Jews in Israel is evidence of the deep-seated racism in Israel. One, as Janice said, that all the Jews do not support. All the Israelis, rather, don't support. But this is something I want to talk about, this domestic.
All the Jews in this country
don't support that. Right, that's right. But what I find interesting, look at these women who have come into Congress, in this freshman class. You got Lauren Underwood out of Illinois. You have Johanna Hayes, teacher of the year in Connecticut, They're approaching this in a kind of a different kind of way.
And they ain't scared.
No, they're not. No, but this is what I'm saying. I believe these sisters are coordinating in a lot of ways because you have on the other side.
They are.
AOC, Afro-Latina, I call her, out of New York. And then you have the two Muslims, to your point. Rashida Tlaib out of John Conyers seat in Michigan and this young Somali sister out of Minnesota.
Right.
When they come for them, what they don't understand is.
Precisely.
There's one way to understand this. This resolution today could be read as a victory. Before those sisters came into Congress with this new wave, they wouldn't even brought this conversation up. They have moved the needle.
And what happened was the Dems thought we were going to move on this.
Right.
Because the Democrats' deal is, okay, let's take this criticism away from the Republicans. We're going to move on. They were like, no, hold up. Because this is also where, for the folks who are critical, the power of the Congressional Black Caucus.
No question.
By having 55 members, the largest caucus, you can't do jack without the CBC. And when Nancy Pelosi put this in, according to Politico, Johanna Hayes stood up and said, I'm not voting on something I haven't even read.
That's right.
Then they had to deal with the other CBC members and Ayanna Pressley from Massachusetts.
Yes.
And all of a sudden, it was so much hell in the room from black folks, Nancy Hale actually walked out of the room. But again, though.
And think about what Nancy's problem is. Nancy's got a very fractious party that she's trying to hold together.
Yep.
She got 3 or 4 different factions of that party.
Right.
She's trying to get them to 2020 without them cannibalizing each other.
But the CBC point is important because guess who's got to keep them in line? Hakeem Jeffries.
The black folks are sticking together.
Let's also not forget that Netanyahu has been in power in Israel on and off for about 25 years.
That's true.
Longer than Putin has been in power on and off in Russia. Netanyahu's been in power. We either address this or we don't, but we cannot continue just to kowtow to foreign government.
All right, folks, back to our Roland Martin Unfiltered video in just one moment. All right, folks, calling all HBCU alumni, students, and leaders, enter the Ford Motor Company HBCU Mobility Challenge and win $25,000 for your school. Building on their long-term support of HBCUs, Ford is looking to improve mobility in HBCU communities through innovative solutions. The winning program will receive a grant up to $25,000 to implement their proposal. The deadline to apply is March 31st, 2019. Go to this site, FGB.Life, FGB.Life, for more information and to apply. Ford goes further in our community, and we thank them for being a partner here at Roland Martin Unfiltered. Now back to your Roland Martin Unfiltered video.